Every year, animals attack my giant pumpkins, and every year I fight back and lose. This year's invention, the Zap-a-Rat, a homemade electric fence so ridiculous it just might have worked. Last year, a rat chewed one of my pumpkins as a baby, and that tiny bite grew into a deformity so bad the pumpkin split before way off. That same year, a mole dug under my other pumpkin a week before competition. And once, a cat gave my pumpkin some claw marks that scarred it for life. And those are just the highlights. I've tried everything. Snap traps, mothballs, fox urine, cayenne pepper. Nothing worked. This spring, I even tried rat birth control in my basement. The rats loved it. And a few weeks later, so did their newborns. So I got more aggressive. Inspired by a product called Rat Mat, a ridiculously expensive electric mat people use to protect their cars, I decided to make my own version with metal strips on wood. Version 1.0 failed immediately. A rat jumped right over it. So I leveled up. 2 layers of electric wire just above the metal strips, low enough that I could step over it, but high enough to make a rat think twice. The goal wasn't to block them out completely, just convince them to find easier food. And with my compost pile and garden nearby, there was plenty of that. I had cameras running all season, and here's what I saw. One raccoon touched the wire with his nose, then just wandered off like nothing happened. An opossum did the same thing. The cats stepped right over it, didn't even flinch, which honestly isn't the worst thing since they usually help keep the rodents in check. Then one bird actually walked in between the wires, which made me question whether the fence was even working. Until I saw this squirrel get zapped. He went flying and learned his lesson quick. But somehow he also ended up inside the fence with the pumpkin. Luckily, I'd planned for that. The pumpkin sits on mill fabric, which should insulate anything inside from the ground. Without being grounded, they can touch the wire from the inside without getting shocked, at least in theory. I never caught a rat getting zapped, but I did see one walk around the edge. And for the first time ever, 0 chew marks, 0 burrows, 0 damage. That's proof enough for me. So what are the downsides of the Zap-a-Rat? Well, for starters, I have to remember to turn it off every time I go near my pumpkins or I'll end up zapping myself. You also have to stay on top of weeding around the setup. If a weed touches the electrified strip, you'll get arcing. Basically, the electricity jumps to the plant instead of the fence, which can mess with performance. The only real weak spot was the stem side, where the vines made it tricky to run wires, so I had to rely just on the ground strips there. I used halved PVC pipes to insulate the vines, and crossed my fingers. So will I use the Zap-a-Rat again next year? Absolutely. It's a little annoying to set up, especially around the stem end, but it worked. For the first time ever, I had a rodent-free season, even with rats still active on my property. No poison, no glue traps, just deterrence that actually works.